Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive?
Sounds good to me.
Today we're tackling people and culture.
Ah, yes.
This term, it's everywhere, right?
It's definitely buzzy.
Is it just HR with a makeover
Right.
or something more?
Yeah, is it really a change?
We've got a stack of articles to help
Yeah.
us figure that out.
Okay, cool.
Let's see what we can dig out.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
What I find interesting, just the name itself, right? People and culture.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a shift away from thinking of employees just as resources.
I think so. I think you're right.
It's more about acknowledging
Yeah.
that a company's success really depends on its people
Yeah.
feeling valued. It's
Absolutely.
like being engaged.
Yeah.
Part of a culture where they can,
I
thrive.
belong.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this quote
Okay.
we came across by Kimberly Salmons. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but
Sure.
human resources, it sounds cold, like a widget.
Oh.
People, on the other hand,
Right.
feels more, I don't know, human.
Much more.
It gets to the heart of it, right?
Yeah, it really highlights that shift in perspective.
Exactly.
That it's not just about managing a workforce.
Yeah.
It's about creating an environment where people can really flourish.
So how did we even get here?
Well, if we go back in time a bit,
Okay.
to the early days of industrialization, that's kind of where it all started.
Interesting.
Businesses were growing rapidly.
Right.
They needed a way to manage this huge influx of workers.
So it's about efficiency,
Yeah, very much.
getting things done.
Exactly.
But over time,
Uh-huh.
that thinking started to evolve.
Yeah.
People realized
Yeah.
that happy employees, engaged employees,
Right.
they're actually key to a company's success.
Exactly. It makes a huge difference.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us?
Well, the question then becomes,
Yeah.
how is this people and culture thing
Yeah.
actually different from traditional HR?
Right. Is it a total revamp?
I wouldn't say a total revamp.
More of an evolution, like
But more of an evolution, I'd say.
okay, like HR 2.0.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I like that.
It builds upon those fundamental HR functions.
Like payroll,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Payroll, benefits,
all the legal stuff,
compliance, all of that.
the stuff nobody likes to deal with.
Right, but necessary.
But it goes deeper, right?
It does, much deeper.
People and culture is more focused on
Yeah.
the whole employee experience.
That's a big part of it.
Creating a culture, making sure people's strategies
Right.
actually align with the overall goals of the business.
It's about being proactive, not just reactive.
Okay, so give me an example.
Sure.
How would this play out in real life?
Okay, so let's say you have a job opening.
Okay.
Traditional HR might focus on filling that position as quickly as possible.
Right, just get someone in there.
Exactly.
But people and culture,
Yeah.
they'd look at it differently.
They would.
They'd ask, how does this new hire fit into the company culture?
Exactly.
It's a bigger picture view,
It is. It's about finding the right person.
not just any person.
Exactly. Someone who will thrive in that environment
Contribute to the company's success.
in the long run.
I'm starting to get the picture.
Good.
So let's talk benefits.
Okay.
What are the real advantages
Sure.
of having like a dedicated people and culture team or department?
Well, I think one of the most significant advantages is
Yeah.
that focus on employee experience and well-being.
You mentioned that earlier.
It's really at the forefront.
So it's about
Yeah,
creating a positive and engaging work environment,
exactly.
more than just perks.
Right. It's deeper than that.
Like ping pong tables and free snacks.
It's about feeling valued and supported.
It's about feeling like you matter, like your contributions are recognized.
And appreciated.
And that, I imagine, leads to increased satisfaction,
Absolutely.
more motivation, ultimately better productivity,
Right. It all ties together.
and happier employees,
Of course. Can't forget that.
which leads to, I think, another key advantage,
And what's that?
culture building.
Yes. That's a big one.
People and culture. They champion a strong company culture,
They do. They're the champions.
and that attracts and retains top talent.
Absolutely.
People want to work for companies
Yeah.
where they feel valued.
And where the culture aligns with their own values.
Right. It's got to be a good fit.
Exactly.
I like how you mentioned unlabeling earlier.
Yeah, yes.
How does that fit into
Good,
some
quiet.
of this?
Well, unlabeling is all about appreciating individuals beyond just their job titles or departments.
Right. It's about recognizing
Yeah.
that everyone brings unique skills to the table.
Their own experiences.
And perspectives.
Absolutely.
So instead of putting people in boxes, you're encouraging companies to see.
To see the whole person,
Yes.
the individual.
I can see how that fosters a more inclusive environment.
It's a big part of creating a sense of belonging,
Exactly.
where everyone feels valued for who they are.
And that's a core function of people and culture, right?
It is. It's about building a diverse,
Okay.
equitable,
Yeah.
inclusive workplace
Yeah.
where everyone feels like they belong.
Like the example we talked about before,
Which one?
Cisco systems.
Ah, yes.
They've really woven
Stab.
diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging into the very fabric of their culture.
They've made it part of their DNA.
It's inspiring to see companies
It is.
actually putting these principles into practice.
And seeing the positive results.
It's not just talk, it's action.
Exactly.
But I have to ask, there must be some downsides too, right?
Well, nothing's perfect.
No rose without thorns, as they say.
Yeah, there are some potential pitfalls to be aware of, for sure. I mean, like anything, right? There are always going to be challenges.
So what are some of the disadvantages then of having a people and culture department, I mean?
One thing to watch out for is that it can be kind of superficial.
Oh, okay.
Like if it's just a rebranding, you know, just a new name for HR,
Right.
but without any real changes in how a company operates,
Oh, I see.
that can actually do more harm than good.
Yeah, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, right?
Exactly. It might look good on the surface, but underneath, it's still the same old problems.
So people and culture needs to be backed up by genuine commitment.
From leadership,
Yeah.
a willingness to actually change things.
Walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Right. Actions speak louder than words.
What about resistance to change?
Oh, that's a big one.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, some employees, especially those who are used to that traditional HR structure, they might be hesitant to embrace new ways of doing things.
It's understandable, right?
It is. Change can be scary.
Even when it's for the better.
It takes time to adjust.
And effort.
And good communication.
Yeah, so how do you actually implement a people and culture approach?
That's a great question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Yeah, I figured as much.
It really depends on the company, their culture.
Their goals.
Exactly, but in general, I'd say it requires clear communication, a well-defined plan,
Right.
and the flexibility to adapt as you go along.
So it's a process,
It is. It's a journey.
not a destination.
Well said.
You mentioned earlier some companies that are doing this well.
Oh, yeah, there are some great examples out there.
What about HubSpot?
HubSpot's a great example.
I've heard good things.
They have a really strong employee-centric culture. And it's not just lip service.
Okay.
They have this culture code document.
I've heard of that.
And it's not just words on a page.
So they actually live by it.
They do. It's ingrained in everything they do.
What's one thing that stands out to you about their culture?
One thing that really impressed me
Yeah.
is their emphasis on solving for the customer, not just their wallet.
What does that mean?
It means they encourage their employees to go above and beyond to help customers succeed.
Even if it means...
Even if it means giving something away for free.
Wow, that's pretty radical.
It is, but it works.
I bet it creates a lot of loyalty.
It does, both from customers and employees.
Makes sense.
People want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
And HubSpot's also big on employee development, right?
Yeah, they invest heavily in their people.
Providing opportunities for growth.
Exactly. They want their employees to learn and grow.
It's no wonder they're always ranked high on best places to work lists.
They deserve it.
What about Netflix?
Netflix is another interesting case.
Yeah, I've heard they have a totally different vibe.
They do. They're all about freedom and responsibility.
So less structure.
Much less.
Okay.
They trust their employees to do their jobs.
Without micromanaging them.
Exactly.
That sounds refreshing.
It is, but it's not for everyone.
No, I imagine it takes a certain type of person.
To thrive in that kind of environment.
Someone who's self-motivated.
Definitely.
And can handle a lot of autonomy.
And responsibility.
One thing I've always been curious about is their unlimited vacation policy.
Ah, yes. The holy grail of perks.
Right. I mean, it sounds amazing.
It does, but it can also be tricky.
How so?
Well, some people might feel guilty taking time off.
Really?
Yeah, like they're not working hard enough.
Or that they'll fall behind?
Exactly.
It's interesting how even something like unlimited vacation can be perceived differently by different people.
It all comes down to company culture and individual personalities.
And trust.
Big time.
Trust from the company and trust from the employee.
Exactly.
It's a two-way street.
It is. And it's essential for a healthy work environment.
It's a delicate balance, for sure.
It is.
Speaking of balance, we touched on psychological safety earlier.
Oh, yeah. That's an important one.
I'd love to unpack that a bit more.
Sure, happy to.
How does it tie into this whole people and culture philosophy?
Well, I think psychological safety is really about fostering an environment where people feel comfortable speaking up, sharing their ideas, taking risks, even admitting mistakes.
Without fear of being punished.
Exactly, without fear of negative consequences.
So it's about feeling safe to be yourself.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
To express your opinions. To know that you won't be penalized for making a mistake.
Or for disagreeing with the boss.
It's about creating a space where people feel supported.
And respected.
Even when they mess up.
Absolutely.
I imagine that kind of environment leads to more creativity, innovation, collaboration.
It's essential for all of those things.
Because when people feel psychologically safe, they're more likely to be engaged.
Yes.
Be productive.
Absolutely.
Be committed to the company's success.
It all ties together.
This has been such an insightful, deep dive into people and culture.
I've enjoyed it.
We've explored its evolution, the advantages and challenges, the importance of diversity and inclusion.
Absolutely crucial.
And the power of psychological safety.
It can't be overstated.
We've seen how companies like HubSpot and Netflix are really walking the walk.
They're setting a great example.
Proving that putting your people first isn't just good ethics. It's good business.
It's a win-win.
And the best part is,
Flex that.
You don't need to be a giant corporation to embrace this shift.
Any company can do it.
Big or small.
Exactly.
Any company can benefit from building a stronger people and culture.
It's about making a conscious effort.
So as we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a thought.
I'm listening.
The future of work is human.
Interesting.
As automation and AI become more prevalent, the skills that will matter most are creativity, empathy, critical thinking,
and collaboration.
And those are the very skills that people and culture helps to nurture.
Absolutely, it's all connected.
So how can you contribute to a more human-centric work environment?
That's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
Whether it's fostering psychological safety, promoting diversity and inclusion, or simply treating your colleagues with respect.
Those everyday actions make a difference.
Every action counts.
They do.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into people and culture.
My pleasure.
Hopefully you've gained some valuable insights.
I hope so.
And feel inspired to create positive change.
In your own workplaces.
Until next time, keep learning.
Keep growing.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time.